By the 1920s, physicists probing the atom discovered that Newton's clockwork universe, where every particle has a definite position and velocity, and the future unrolls from the present like a carpet, simply dissolves at the smallest scales. What replaced it, quantum mechanics, is the most successful physical theory ever constructed, verified to 11 decimal places, the foundation of the transistor, the laser, the MRI machine, and the device you're listening on. And this supremely practical theory makes claims about reality that are, on their face, astonishing. Today, I want to lay out 3 of those claims accurately, clear away the nonsense that has grown around them, and then show you what they generally have to say to a Jew. Claim 1. Between measurements, a particle does not possess a definite position. It exists as a wave of possibilities, described with perfect mathematical precision, and only on measurement does it, so to speak, make up its mind. The double-slit experiment shows a single electron passing, in some irreducible sense, through 2 openings at once, interfering with itself like a wave, until you place a detector at the slits, at which point it behaves like a particle and the interference vanishes. Observation is not a passive peek at a ready-made fact. It participates in settling the fact. Physicists have argued for a century about what this means. What it does is not in dispute. Claim 2. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Nature has non-negotiable limits on knowing. You may know a particle's position precisely, or its momentum precisely, but the more sharply you grasp one, the more the other slips away. Not because our instruments are clumsy, but because the universe does not contain both answers at once. This is a limit written into the fabric of reality, established by the mathematics of waves and confirmed by every experiment since. Claim 3. The deepest events in nature appear to be genuinely undetermined. When a radioactive nucleus decays now rather than in an hour, there is, on the standard understanding, no hidden cause that fixed the moment. Einstein hated this. God does not play dice, he insisted, and he spent years designing objections, convinced there must be hidden variables underneath, restoring the clockwork. The matter was eventually put to experimental test. John Bell's theorem in 1964 showed that local hidden variable theories make measurably different predictions from quantum mechanics, and the experiments, culminating in the work that won the 2022 Nobel Prize, came down decisively against Einstein's hidden clockwork. The openness is real. 3 things remain. First, humility as a finding of physics. For 3 centuries, the program of science was Laplace's boast. Give me the position and velocity of every particle, and I will predict the entire future of the universe. The quantum century ended that boast, and not through failure. The deepest theory we possess declares the complete blueprint unknowable in principle. The Rambam taught that God's essence is unknowable, and that our knowledge terminates in recognizing what we cannot know. And Deuteronomy 29 verse 28, a verse worth memorizing exactly. The hidden things belong to the Lord our God, and the revealed things to us and to our children to do. A universe with a boundary of knowability woven into its foundation is the universe whose texts describe. It is precisely not the universe Laplace promised. Second, the participating human being. I won't overclaim here. The electron does not wait for anyone's prayer book, but notice the shape of what physics found, a world whose micro-events are not fixed until engaged, what the physicist John Wheeler called a participatory universe. And notice the shape of what Judaism has always taught, a creation deliberately left unfinished, awaiting a partner. The Talmud in Shabbos 10a says a judge who judges truly becomes a partner with God in the work of creation. The blessing after the Shema calls God who renews daily, perpetually the work of creation. Creation as an ongoing process, not a finished machine. 2 descriptions, 2 vocabularies, 1 shape, an open world and a participant whose engagement matters. Third, and this is the one with the most direct consequence for a thinking Jew, freedom. For as long as classical physics reigned, the sharpest scientific argument against Judaism was not about fossils, it was about the will. If every atom in your brain obeys deterministic law, then your choice today was fixed at the beginning of time, and the entire Torah, every commandment, every choose life, every Yom Kippur is addressed to a puppet. The Rambam staked everything on the opposites. In the Laws of Repentance, chapter 5, he says, free will is granted to every human being, and this, he writes, is a great principle, the pillar of the Torah and of the commandments. For 2 centuries, Newton seemed to be winning that argument. The quantum century took determinism's crown away. Now, precision requires me to say, quantum indeterminacy does not by itself manufacture free will. Randomness is not freedom, and philosophers still argue the details. But the iron argument is broken. Physics no longer asserts that your next act is already written in the ledger of particles. Judaism, which kept teaching freedom through the entire deterministic siege, did not have to move an inch. The rubble was cleared from around its pillar by physics itself. One last detail. By classical arithmetic, the sun is not hot enough to shine. Its core protons lack the energy to overcome their electrical repulsion and fuse. What saves us every morning is quantum tunneling. Each proton is a spread of possibility, and a tiny fraction of that possibility lies beyond the barrier. So fusion happens at a minuscule rate per encounter. Sum those improbabilities across the sun's octillion tons, and the result is a steady, faithful warmth lasting 10 billion years. The liturgy each morning praises the One who in his goodness renews daily the work of creation. As a description of the sun, that turns out to be almost technical, not a stockpile burning down, but an improbability reperformed, particle by particle at every instant. So the quantum world did not shrink the mystery, and it did not hand us cheap miracles. It measured a veil, enough light to work by, never enough to seize the whole, and left the hidden things where Deuteronomy filed them. In the next episode, the strangest fact of all, that the universe obeys mathematics, that life runs on a 4-letter text, and what it means that reality reads like a book.